Let me paint you a picture. Not literally, we've not got time for that, but with words. You're going for a pleasant stroll. Maybe you've got earbuds in. You're listening to music or a podcast. And then, without warning, a stranger's dog charges toward you, so happy to see you that you briefly wonder if you're a celebrity and didn't realize it. You've never met this dog before. You have no idea why they love you so much, and for some reason, the owner is frantically apologizing. Which there's no need to do. Who wouldn't want attention from a dog? Does this happen to you a lot? We are going to go through a few scientifically backed theories as to why random dogs might enjoy your company so much. And at the end of the video, we'll touch on a very non-scientific theory. But it's my fave theory of the list. But before we do, we have one heck of a theory to kick off with. Number 1. You stink. We all do. At least if you have a nose as powerful as a dog's, we all do. But don't worry, it's not a bad stench. When it comes to the dynamic between man and pooch, our odor matters so much more than you might think. According to some canine cognitive research conducted at Barnard College, dogs have around 300 million olfactory receptors when we humans have a measly 5 million. To put it less science-y, they are very good at smelling stuff. There will be certain scents that make them very happy, scents imperceivable to our weak little human noses. And your scent may well be one of those scents to many, many dogs. Perhaps this is just your natural odor. Or if you have a dog of your own, perhaps they're picking up the smell of that dog. Or perhaps the food you feed your dog. Scientists even think that dogs can smell if you are a dog person. If you have a positive reaction to seeing a dog, positive feelings around them, that will give up a happy pheromone. Dogs can smell that, and it will make it very clear to them that you are someone they are safe to be in the company of, and they'll want to formally introduce themselves to you, as formally as running up to you and slobbering all over can be. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Veterinary Science actually pointed out that dogs actively use their 300 million olfactory receptors to evaluate us humans before approaching. They can even smell our emotions. If you smell happy, they might approach to join the fun. If you smell sad, they might approach in the hope of lifting your mood. Whether they are smelling your natural scent, the smell of your dog, or the stench of your emotions, you are giving off a lot of odors, and some dogs just cannot resist them. There's actually quite a lot more we could say about smells, and the role they play in why random dogs might choose you to be their friend. But let's take a break from chatting about stenches and move on to something else. But we'll pivot back to odors a little bit later because there's a lot more to explore. Number 2. It's the way you move. Sometimes it's not the way you smell that draws the attention of dogs, it's the way you move. By which I mean body language. If you conduct yourself with a vibe of calmness, a certain relaxed air, rather than one of aggression and tension, that will immediately grab the attention of many a dog. And as far as I'm concerned, it totally makes sense because we humans do the same, right? If you see someone you don't know and they're holding themselves in a relaxed, chilled out way, and you look at someone else you don't know who has crossed arms and an aggressive look on their face, of course you'd prefer to approach the first person. A 2021 study by the University of Naples confirmed this, finding that pretty much every dog prefers humans who have an open and relaxed posture over someone who's closed off and tense. A classic example of how sometimes the best way to figure out a dog's motives is to focus on how humans behave, because at the end of the day, we're not that different to them. If you identify as someone who is chilled or calm, or just all around nice, it totally stands to reason that a random dog will want to rush over and join you, to say hello in their uniquely doggish way. No idea if doggish is a real word. This is because in the canine world, posture is literally everything. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that dogs are capable of detecting even the tiniest amount of tension in the human body. Number 3. Good previous experiences. Let's return to the image from that intro. You're strolling through the park, minding your own business, when a stranger's dog comes sauntering over with excitement and glee. It's peculiar. You can't quite understand why they've done that, what they see in you. You might not have met the dogs that rushed over to you before, but to them they might have, because you might remind them of somebody they do know, And if that someone treated them well, those positive experiences will mean they might expect you to offer similarly positive experiences. Think of it as like humans assuming everyone with red hair is a nice person because the first person with red hair they ever met was kind to them. We often associate doggos with being a bit silly and goofy, maybe even stupid. So you might jump to the conclusion that they have bad memories. But they actually have something experts call episodic memory, meaning they're capable of recalling certain specific events in high levels of detail. That's a large part of why your own pet dogs love you, because they can recall the lovely things you've done for them to exquisite levels of detail. They can recall the way you made them feel, how much happiness and joy you bring them on a day-to-day basis. So if you remind a stranger dog of someone else they have positive memories of course they'd want to approach you, because they're looking to recreate that wonderful moment from the past that they recall so perfectly. Number 4. The tone of your voice. The words we say are important, but when it comes to dogs at least, it's the way we say it that means more. Well, actually, there's some nuance to what kind of dogs respond well to voice tones. More on that shortly. But your tone of voice is everything to certain dogs. They tend to react more positively to friendly, high-pitched voices, a style of speech referred to by experts as dog-directed speech, or more simply, baby talk, that irritating way everyone speaks to animals and babies that we all find annoying to hear someone else do, but simply can't resist doing ourselves. For we are all weak around cute animals at the end of the day. But if anyone else tells you that the baby talk is annoying and you should stop doing it, or even go so far as to suggest it's patronizing, strap in for a twist. There's actually science to back up the idea that speaking in such a way really appeals to dogs. Dr. Julianne Kaminsky of the University of Portsmouth is a bit of an expert in this, and she has pointed out that because this tone of voice mimics the way we humans speak to children, dogs find it comforting and inviting, as they know it's a type of voice you should use for those you love and care for. So if a stranger's dog hears you speak like this before they approach, this may well be why they charge toward you. Simply put, if you're the type to make baby talk around a dog, embrace it, because dogs love it. And if you're watching this video wishing you were one of the people who random dogs choose to embrace, one way you could encourage more dogs to lovingly rush toward you would be to dabble in a splash of dog-directed speech when meeting a new dog. What's super interesting is that in her work, Dr. Kaminsky has noticed a subtle difference in what puppies and dogs react to. This is what I was hinting at a little earlier when I said there's slightly different rules for different dogs. It's all about age. So a puppy is much more receptive to this baby speech than an adult dog, while an adult dog tends to be more drawn towards the actual emotional content of the words. If you were to say, "Who's a good boy?" in a high-pitched baby voice, a puppy would love the tone of your voice, but an adult dog might care more about being called good than the specifics. Again, this is another classic example of doggos proving they can be more like humans than you think. Talking in a baby voice to a baby, they love it. They giggle while having a wonderful time. Talking in a baby voice to an adult, patronizing, degrading, insulting. Now, adult dogs aren't exactly patronized by a baby voice. Far from it, but they just put a bit more weight in the content of the words than the tone. Probably because they have matured to know what many of those words mean. Regardless, if a stranger's dog hears you speak in dog-directed speech, they may well be intrigued in coming over to say hello. And if they are a wee little puppy, they will definitely want to run over and find out more about you. Number 5. Your energy. While we're on the subject of somebody's puppy bounding towards you because you said, "Look at the baby" in a cute voice, let's talk about energy. A lot of dogs are high energy. If we could harness the energy of golden retrievers and labradors to power the world's electrical grids, nobody would ever run out of power again. There's a reason why the golden retriever energy is a phrase after all. Cesar Millan, a man you may well be familiar with for he's known as the dog whisperer, has said that dogs tend to be drawn toward balanced energy. With 3 best-selling books about dogs to his name and a hit TV show, there's no denying he knows his stuff about canines. So if he says dogs are reacting to your energy, there's a strong chance it's right. Though it is worth noting that in recent times, some of his training methods have drawn a fair bit of controversy. So still take some of what he says with a fistful of salt. But on this, he's right. To boot, a 2020 study from the Kyoto University discovered that dogs are intrigued by humans that seem confident in a calm way or exude gently playful vibes. Both these sets of research suggest that your energy plays a huge role, and it totally makes sense. We humans are exactly the same. We are drawn towards people whose energy we enjoy. If you consider yourself to be a playful person, a calm person, or a confident person, you are basically a lighthouse for canines, encouraging them to approach with your illuminating presence. Number 6. Your house stinks. I said we'd come back to talking about noses, didn't I? So here we go. It's time to talk about smells again. Earlier I mentioned dogs might approach you because you stink, but maybe it's not you that stinks. Maybe it's your house. And maybe the smell of your house appeals to dogs for similar reasons that the smell of you appeals to them. A dog's nose is so powerful that they can sniff the scent of your house lingering on you, and if they enjoy that smell, they'll want to get up close and personal with you to enjoy that smell more. But when I say the nose of dogs is powerful, it's even more powerful than you think, because dogs can literally smell through time. Okay, they can't quite smell through time. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but that is an episode of Star Trek just waiting to be written. But dogs sort of can smell through time, in a roundabout way. What I mean by that is, if you had a dog in your house a few years ago, but don't anymore, that dog's scent will still be lingering in your house a teeny tiny bit. Your nose can't pick it up, but a dog's nose can. And if that smell has rubbed off on you, a stranger's dog will pick up that smell and may find it very inviting indeed. To boot, they can remember very specific smells for an incredibly long time. And don't forget, they've got better memories than you think. You might think you've not met that dog before, but maybe you crossed paths with them a long time ago. Maybe you were. And maybe you just don't remember them. But you or your house still smell the same. And the dogs have picked up on that scent and instantly remembered that the human who smells like that is nice. So they rush on over. Number 7. Your vibes, dude. As much as it may sound like irritating hippie speak, vibes matter. Vibes mean something, especially to dogs. We can get into the weeds of the science as we frantically try to figure out what a stranger's dog may or may not like about you. But at the end of the day, sometimes it is as simple as you give off good vibes. Don't forget, dogs have quite literally evolved alongside humans. They have been our best friends for centuries. So they really get us. They may well get us more than we get ourselves. Researchers have found that dogs' ability to read human emotions is actually comparable to that of young children. Really think about that. Human babies are designed to learn from us, to grow in reaction to what we teach them, and become like us. So it's kind of a big deal that dogs show near identical levels of skill when it comes to reading our vibes. This emotional intelligence helps them navigate human environments and choose who they feel safe with studies from the University of Helsinki showing that dogs are always drawn more towards humans that seem welcoming, kind, and happy. Or to put it a touch more simply, they are drawn to people with good vibes. Number 8. Cues imperceptible to the human eye. I've talked a lot about how dogs can smell things that we humans can't, but they can actually pick up on quite a lot of social cues in humans that are beyond our own comprehension. You are also giving off subtle hints, signs, and micro-expressions that convey what you are truly thinking and feeling without realizing it. Most people don't notice them. Only experts trained in the field of body language can pick them up, and even then, they might require the use of tools like lie detectors. But dogs are actually aware of all these minor cues in body language and facial expressions, speaking up on the tiniest details that no human could identify with ease. You might think that a stranger's dog has embraced you randomly, but there is a strong chance you might have smiled at them so subtly you didn't even realize you had done it. But that dog sure saw you do it, and they're taking it as a sign that you are someone they're welcome to rush over and embrace. Even something as tiny as a fleeting glint or a glimmer in your eyes will be noticed by them and draw them in. Number 9. Safety. One of the main reasons why your pet dog loves and relishes in your company is that you offer a great degree of safety. And often that's something you've built with them over a long period of time. But in some cases, you might just give off the vibe that you're safe to be around naturally. So even a stranger's dog who doesn't know you will pick up on that and want to rush over as fast as they can to say hello. The main ways in which humans give off these safe vibes are via a consistency in behavior. Dogs love structure. They love rhythms, routines, and predictability. So if you are conducting yourself in a consistent way with steady and predictable actions that will greatly appeal to dogs and make you seem like a safe presence to be around, they'll be eager to introduce themselves so they can benefit from the security it seems you have to offer. Number 10. A natural connection. That is a list of reasons why a random dog might charge over to try and get to know you. But no matter how hard we might try to figure out why you appeal to dogs so much, there's one very simple theory that may sound crazy, but almost definitely plays a big role. You just have a natural connection. After all this talk of micro-expressions and pheromones, sometimes the bonds between living creatures have nothing to do with science and simply boil down to having a natural connection. And if you think about it, a lot of human-on-human dynamics are built on natural connection. We don't need to analyze it or figure it out. Two people can just connect. That can also apply to dogs. They can just feel drawn to you, feeling an inexplicable bond, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. They just like you, and that's that. Animal behaviorist Patricia McConnell described it as, "It may be mutual comfort, familiarity, or even something we don't fully understand yet." Whether it be your smell, your vibes, or the way you speak, those are some reasons why random dogs might approach you consistently. And if they don't, but you would like them to, this list can function as some hints to help you become someone who is more popular with dogs. Then, random dogs will love you as much as your own, who no doubt checks in on you a lot. But why do they do that? Watch this next video to find out why.